Hello students, welcome to today's lecture on compiler vision. Uh, in our previous lecture, we have completed the design of several types of LR parsers from third unit. Then we have seen how to utilize that parsing table to parse any given input stream. Today, we will discuss about the error recovery strategies used by the LR parsers. Okay. So what is this error? So when an error will be encountered by an LR parser, so we all know this after contacting the parsing table, if the parser identifies the corresponding cell for the combination of the action, if the corresponding cell is empty in the parsing table, it corresponds to an error, right? So LR parser will detect an error if it consults the parsing table and finds that empty cell, right? And generally, the LR parsers will immediately uh, announce the error as soon as there is no continuation for the portion of input is scanned by the parser. That means if there is some error in the input stream that is passed by the LR parser, then immediately it displays the corresponding error message, right? But the actual problem is uh, if an error is encountered by the parser, then the parsing process will be stopped in general. But uh, a efficient parser should display all the errors that are written by a developer when a program is given as input to the parser. So if it can display all the errors, then it will be treated as an efficient parser. So the requirement is now to display all the parsers. Therefore, what is required here? When it encounters the first error, it must be able to recover from that error by displaying an appropriate message and by performing appropriate actions and continue the normal parsing with the remaining statements of the program. So then only we can get all the errors in the corresponding program. So this error recovery helps the parsers in continuing, in resuming the parsing actions into a normal parsing, even when an error is encountered during the parsing of a particular statement in a program. Okay, so for that purpose, we will make use of some error recovery strategies. So we will see that later. Uh, we know that there are several kinds of parsers available, starting with the simple LR parser and then canonical LR parser and LALR parser. Three types of LR parsers we have seen, and all these three types of parsers will respond differently when they encounter an error. A CLR parser will never perform a reduction operation if it announces an error. So without performing reduction operations, it simply announces the error and continues with the remaining parsing actions. Whereas SLR and LALR parsers performs several reductions before they announce the error, but they will not perform any shift operations if the input is containing some error. Okay, so CLR parser works like this, and SLR and LALR parsers will work like this. Okay, but anyhow, irrespective of the type of LR parser, the recovery strategies followed by these LR parsers will be same. You can utilize any of the available error recovery strategies while performing the parsing actions. So now let us go through the types of error recovery strategies that can be utilized by the LR parsers. So the first category of error recovery strategy is panic mode recovery. So using this panic mode recovery, what the LR parsers will do is, when it identifies an error, what it does is to recover from the corresponding error. The input symbols are simply discarded until uh, a designated set of synchronizing token is found. This means that uh, a particular token has some error. Therefore, after processing a part of that corresponding token, simply ignore the remaining part of the token and continue with the next token. That is what the panic mode recovery does when an error is encountered. If an error is found in a particular token while parsing a particular token, simply ignore that token and continue the process of parsing with the next token. So that is what panic mode recovery performs. So we will see later how this panic mode recovery performs this ignoring the current token and continuing with the next token, and what are the actions done by this error recovery strategy. We'll see it in the further slides. And the second category of error recovery strategy is phrase level error recovery. In phrase level error recovery, what we do is, while constructing the parse table itself, for every possible combination of errors, we will create uh, a procedure to overcome the corresponding error. So generally, phrase level error recovery performs a local fix to the errors so that the parser continues with the remaining parsing actions. What does this local fix means is, for example, say, uh, while writing a program, a C program, let us say the programmer has written comma in place of semicolon. So actually, he or she has to write a semicolon at that position, but mistakenly he wrote comma there. Therefore, what this phrase level recovery does is, it tries to replace that comma with the other delimiters such as semicolon, colon, and so on. And whenever it identifies that semicolon is a proper delimiter at that position, it performs that corresponding local fix. That means the change of symbols from one symbol to another symbol will be done in phrase level recovery. Okay, so that is what phrase level recovery does. So in panic mode recovery, what we do is, we discard the input symbols until the corresponding token in which error is identified is simply ignored and continues with the next possible token. In phrase level recovery, when an error is encountered, we will try to fix that corresponding error by replacing the symbol where an error is encountered with other possible symbols at that position. Okay, so these are the two possible error recovery strategies that can be implemented by any LR parser. Right. So this is the first one, panic mode error recovery. And as I told you, in panic mode error recovery, what happens is, it discards the input symbols from the corresponding token in which an error is identified. How it actually discards that symbols from the token in which an error is identified. So assume that an error is found in the parsing during the parsing. Immediately, what the LR parser does is, so we all know that the parsing actions are captured in the form of a table. We practiced it also in our previous sessions. So when a combination of stack and input uh, introduces that means the action in the table is empty, then immediately what it does is, the error recovery strategy, panic mode error recovery strategy, what it does is, it simply scans down the corresponding stack until a state yes with a go-to on a particular variable capital A is found. That means you need to scan the entire stack until a state which contains some go-to option, go-to action. That means there should be an entry for this go to of yes corresponding state. Okay, you can have any variable there. You can have any variable there. That means go to of yes comma something should have a variable there. Okay, so this go to entries you need to identify for a particular state. Okay, and then once you identify the state which has some go to actions, then what you need to do is simply get rid of everything from the stack before that state yes. Okay, so they that will be removed from the stack, right, until this state yes. And then there are some changes that need to be made on input symbols also. Okay, so discard zero or more input symbols until a symbol small a is found. This small a must be in the follow set of the corresponding variable capital A on which goto is defined. Okay, so goto of S has this symbol capital A, and you need to look for this follow set of A and discard all the symbols from the input buffer until that follow set of capital A is identified. Okay, you can have any symbol from follow set of here. I'm just showing small a here. Okay, so that is what first thing is, remove symbols from the stack until a state yes with go to action is identified. And then second thing is remove input symbols from the buffer input buffer until for you found a symbol which is in follow of that corresponding variable a. Okay, so two actions are done, change in stack and change in input buffer. Now the new combination, the state and the variable combination will be added to the stack. That means the parser stacks the variable capital A and the state go to of s comma a. Okay, these two will be added to the stack, and the normal parsing will be resumed. Okay, so what it does is it simply remove the corresponding token where the error is found, and it is continuing with the next token. That is what I explained in the previous slide. Okay, uh, this variable capital A is generally going to be any basic programming block. That means it may be a statement or expression or block or anything like that. Okay, and sometimes it may be possible that there may be several go-to actions on this particular state, small s. So you will have multiple options to select them because it has several go-to actions on s. Multiple variables will be there. You can select any of them. There is nothing like you select this or that only. You can select any of those variables for which the state yes has go to actions. You can select them. Therefore, when you have multiple options, sometimes there may be a dilemma to select which of them. So you need to try with all the variables. Sometimes it may not work for all the situations if you select a particular variable among all the go-to actions. So it is up to the designer, the parser designer, to define how to select the corresponding variable, right? So, but generally, all the options will be tested, and if everything goes in this order, that means you found something which is having action part on a particular state, and you also found the follow set symbol in the input buffer. If both these things work, then the corresponding variable you selected is correct only. Okay, otherwise you try with another variable in the corresponding go to action, right? So this is how panic mode error recovery works. I'm repeating this again. First thing is remove symbols from stack until a state yes is found with some go to entries. Okay, and then make some changes to the input buffer until you found a symbol uh, which is in the follow set of the corresponding variable capital A, and then add this capital A and go to of s comma a to the corresponding stack and resume normal parsing. So remove some symbols from stack, remove some symbols from input buffer, add these new symbols and resume the normal parsing technique. This is what panic mode error recovery is uh, does in the LR parsing. Okay. Right. The second category of error recovery strategy is phrase level error recovery. And what it does is each empty entry in the action table is marked with a specific error handling routine. So you need to write a separate routine, a separate procedure for handling each different kind of error that may be encountered during parsing. So the action table should contain a link to these error routines whenever the corresponding error is identified. Okay, so error routine simply reflects the errors that the user most likely will make in that particular case. We'll see that later. What are that possible cases and all? And error routine simply makes some changes. That makes local fix. That means it replaces some symbols with another symbol in order to correct the corresponding error, right? So inserts the symbols or removes the symbols into the stack or into the input, or maybe performs both of them, right? uh, this phase level error recovery is simply making some local corrections in order to continue with the parsing. Okay. So examples are given here. The possible errors that may be encountered during parsing is missing operands, unbalanced right parenthesis, and so on. So we'll see that with an example to understand this phase level recovery. So let us take an example grammar here. Say this is E implies E plus E or ID. That means this grammar has only that addition operation. That means ID plus ID. You can perform only the addition of two identifiers. Okay, and if you construct the parse table, LR parse table, let us say that it is like this. So on state 0, on ID, it is shift 2, and the remaining two possible cases are identified as error 1, E1 category. What does this mean? Zero state means that you are just starting the processing. Okay, the parsing is just started. So on state 0, if you directly encounter plus, it means that operand is missing. So generally, operand 1 plus operand 2 is the correct statement in this grammar. Okay, so operand 1 plus operand 2, that is id plus id will be the correct statement. Without getting id here, if it encounters plus directly on state 0, it means that it indicates error 1. What does that error 1 means? Missing the first operand. Missing the first operand, that is id is missing. Why? How do you identify this? Because plus is identified directly on state 0. State 0 corresponds to the beginning of the parsing. Therefore, at the beginning, there should be an ID. So it corresponds to the error. The corresponding error will be corrected by assuming an imaginary identifier in the stack and shifting to state 2. Why it is moving to state 2? The reason is identifier is assumed and plus is already encountered. So after identifier and plus, it should get another identifier on state 2. That is why it is moved to state 2. Okay. So what is that local correction made over here? Because an operand is missed, it assumed an operand in the stack. So the correction is made in the stack. Okay. And then error 2 on state 1, that means you encountered, it has seen the operand, the first operand is seen, therefore it entered into state 1. So on state 1, if it encounters plus, it's okay, then it is correct option. But if it encounters id, it means the error 2. What does that mean? After first identifier is parsed properly, it should see a plus operator here. But if it sees id again, It means what is missing here? It is missing the operator. Therefore, error 2 corresponds to missing operator. And it performs, the recovery strategy performs that insertion of missing operator and then continues with the state 3. Okay. So on state 2, you will get this ID. Anyhow, ID is seen here. Error 2 itself indicates that ID is already seen. So ID plus ID is properly given. Therefore, it moves to state 3. Okay. On state 3, if it sees another plus, it means it is looking for another expression. Therefore, it should start with another operand. Okay, right. And if it sees a dollar, then it means uh, uh, error state 3 and dollar also corresponds to error 1. Okay, because uh, it is expecting uh, on state 3 it is expecting the operand only, so missing operand will be the error. Okay, on state 4, if it sees id, it means E2, error 2 will be identified. It means missing operator is inserted. So you can have any number of operands followed by operators. So after an operand, it should be an operator. Otherwise, the error will be identified as missing operator. After operator, it should be an operand. Otherwise, missing operand will be inserted. Okay, and if any other characters are identified, then they will be treated as extra characters. So any other extra character uh, will be removed from the corresponding string. Okay, so this is how, if you observe, E1 is a error routine that corrects this combination of 0 on plus, the state 0 with plus. Okay, and E2 is another error routine that corrects this combination of possible error, state 1 on id. Similarly, E3 is a uh, error recovery routine with this combination of state 2 on plus and state 2 on id. So for every error entry, if you look at this table, for every error entry, there is an appropriate routine written over there to identify what is to be done when that particular combination of error is done by the programmer. Okay, and the corresponding actions will be performed by the parser based on the corresponding error routine. Okay, so this is called raised level error recovery strategy, in which every error entry is replaced by an appropriate error routine to correct the corresponding combination of errors. Okay, so that's all for today. What you need to understand is the ultimate goal of error recovery strategies, whatever you apply, the ultimate goal of error recovery strategy is whenever an error is encountered by an LR parser or any other parser, the parsing should be properly resumed. It should not stop. The parsing should be properly resumed by displaying an appropriate error message, and it continues with the remaining part of the program to identify the other possible errors in the corresponding program. So the task of parser is to identify all the syntax errors in the program. So whenever it encounters errors, it should not stop the process of parsing. It should continue the parsing of remaining parts of the program by performing an appropriate recovery strategy. That should be the goal of error recovery strategy in LR parsing. Okay, so that's all with the LR parsers, and we have completed this design of LR parsers with this topic. And when we come back, we will continue with the third unit topics only. There is one more topic left out, which is actually a very difficult topic to understand. If you can focus, you will easily understand that. The topic is syntax directed translation, which is another task done by the syntax analyzer. So in our next class, we will discuss about the syntax director translation and the need of syntax director translation, the way of doing it, and all. Okay, so thank you all. That's all for today. We'll continue with the third unit in our next class with syntax director translation. Thank you.